Welcome back to the Fab 405 Dad's Kitchen. We're in the test kitchen today here in Houston. Let's make bacon. Now I've made bacon a variety of ways over the years. I've used the stovetop, fried it in a cast iron pan or in a non-stick pan. I've even worked in a kitchen where a flat top was available to me, and of course we just laid it out on the flat top, and it worked very well. But in the home kitchen, I think the best method of cooking bacon is in a pan inside the oven. Now I've got my oven preheating to 375 degrees, and don't judge my pan. We've been through a lot together, the two of us, but this is my bacon pan. It's also the pan for many other things that I use, but I think I mentioned this in a previous video. Parchment paper goes down inside of this pan, and I lay the bacon right on top of this, and then into a 375 degree oven. Some people use racks for this to let the grease strip off the bacon, but I don't mind frying the bacon right in the pan. I let it drain off a little bit, and of course when I take it off the pan when it's cooked, I put it on some paper towels and let the grease wick away. But I also save the grease. It's very good for cooking. I love bacon grease. I've got containers in the cupboard. But that's how I'm going to bake or make my bacon today. I'm going to bake it, and I'll show you how that turns out. Now, cooking for a family of 7, I usually have a 3-pound container of bacon. I've got 1 pound today, and as you can see, I found this on a reduced price, so I couldn't pass it up. So 1 pound of bacon cut into strips. I think I'll be able to fit it all on my pan and pop it in the oven. And so after about 15 or 20 minutes in the oven, you'll see how it turns out. But let me show you how I lay this out. I like to use parchment paper as my the bottom of my pan. Part of that is because I believe it keeps things a little cleaner as far as the grease cooking off, and it does help me clean up a little bit faster as well on the backside, although we will get grease that comes under, bacon grease that comes underneath. This is pretty straight cut. Sometimes if it's the bacon is shaped, like it has a foot shape or something like that on it, I'll alternate back and forth, one this way, one the other way, one this way, to get it to fit on there on the sheet pan the best. But like I said, this is pretty straight cut, and so it'll be conducive for just laying it all out straight and flat. Now, this 1 pound of bacon is thick cut bacon. If it's a thinner cut bacon, a pound would have more slices, of course, and so you might need to be a little bit more creative about how you stack these. You've got some room at the top and at the bottom where you can put a piece of bacon. But that's pretty straightforward right there, I think. Okay, so here you can see we've got 1 pound of bacon laid out, and this parchment paper will be able to handle the 375 degree oven, no problem. As this cooks, what I usually like to do is when it starts crisping on, you'll see it start to crisp on one side, I'll maybe flip it over one time to let the heat of the pan cook both sides the same way. And this is going to give us nice, flat, perfectly done bacon that is good for sandwiches. It's good to have bacon and eggs in the morning. I like to cook a large amount of bacon and put it in the freezer, and then I can pull out a couple of slices of cooked bacon and let it thaw in the fridge until I'm ready to use it. Throw it in a pan to crisp it up, and then use it however you want to use it. So we'll go in the oven, and you'll see the results when we get there. So while my bacon's cooking, I like to prep my my board to receive the bacon once it's done, because I do want to allow the excess grease, the bacon grease, to wick away from that. So I have these sandwich wraps that have a wax coating on one side. And then I usually use like 3 paper towels, you know, 3 sections. You can see 1, 2, 3. Fold it in half, and I'll lay the bacon on there, and then I'll do the same thing on top and just let it sit for a little while. So this is prepped to go. I've also got a container for my bacon grease ready to go. So I'll dump the bacon grease in there, and I'll use that for other cooking that I have to do. Anytime I want to impart a little bit of bacon flavor into a dish that I'm making, bacon grease is a good use for that. Yeah, so now it's just a waiting game, waiting for the bacon to finish cooking in the oven. Okay, the bacon's been in the oven for about 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and give it a turn, let you see where we are with this. So you can see that it's starting to render now. And I just want to give both sides a chance to have contact with the hot pan. So this will be the only flip I do. The next time I pull it out of the oven, I'll be transferring the bacon right out to the draining pad. I would say we have about another 10 minutes. It's been another 10 minutes. The room smells like bacon, I'm sure you can imagine. I believe it's ready. I'm going to pull it out now. You see the reveal. Now, depending on how I'm using the bacon, I will, yeah, that's ready. I'll cook it to the level of doneness of how I'm going to use it. So if I'm going to store this in the fridge or the freezer for future use, you know, prep the bacon for a fast meal later on in the week or a series of meals, then I'll cook it a little bit less because I know I'm going to put it back in a pan and crisp it up. But if I'm serving it this day, today, I will make it a little more crisp. We're right in the middle here. You can see that it's just starting to crisp on the edges, but it's not overcooked or burnt. And so the first thing I like to do is go ahead and drain off the oil. And we'll see if I can do this without spilling too much. Just need to... a little bit. So as I mentioned, I'm using a coffee filter inside of this jar. And I just want to drain the oil off into that and let the filter do its job, getting any of the sediment out of the oil, and to give me a nice clean oil on the backside. And thankfully, the bacon, just started to slip off, but the bacon was pretty stable in there, so it allowed me to do that. I'm just going to set this aside and let that continue to filter. Got a little bit hot, as you can imagine. And now I'm just going to transfer this bacon to my paper towels. Well, you can already see that it's, you know, if anything, it might be just a little past where I would normally have it. If I was serving this today, this would be perfect. At least for my family. They like it a little bit on the crisp side, and I do too. Let that, all that fat render off of the bacon, and that's what is filtering out in that jar right now. Just let the paper towels do its job. As I mentioned, just place another set of paper towels over the top of that. Give it a little bit of weight just to help wick off the oil, and there you are. So not a heck of a lot to that. I may not have taught you anything you don't know, but if my kids are watching, I may have taught them something that they didn't know, and now they can make their own bacon. They don't have to wait for me. So I've got some nice bacon grease filtering out here that I'll be able to use in something else that I'm cooking on the stovetop later in the week. I have my trusty pan here, and you can see that the parchment didn't burn. It just kept the bacon at a nice even heat throughout, and I can take this out. It'll be an easy cleanup when I'm done. And the best part of cooking bacon is enjoying it. See you next time.